Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry to keep you waiting, but I wanted to stay on schedule and get it to right at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a live stream review for Fans Toys FT42. I can't believe they're at 42. They're catching up to the official Takara now, although I know they did skip a bunch of numbers already. But 42 Hunk, this is their version of Masterpiece Braun. As you can see here, he does have his standard box, a very tiny box, which is nice. You can see some product images on the back, and really his alt mode and his buddies. I don't have all of them, obviously. Their Beachcomber isn't out yet, and their Sheridan. I'll show you some comparisons later. He comes with a few different accessories. Hey, Kato, it's good to see you as always. He comes with his stack card with these colors I actually like much better. We'll get into that later. But he has a darker green and more of an orange chest and a darker gray looking head there. But this is what you get for his plastic card. He does have a set of instructions. Bottom line up front, his transformation isn't too bad. There are a couple finicky places, but the instructions are pretty good overall. All right, he does come with 3 pieces of accessories. He comes with this, nice blinged out silver chrome, whatever you want to call it, drill bit for his alt mode. I don't think there's any way to actually use it in robot mode, which would have been cool if they had some way to do that. Hey, ABC Bricks, here is his gun, and the way it works is not with a tab, but kind of like a rail system. I actually kind of like these systems. I think they're a lot easier to actually use, and they're not as finicky, and they're way more secure. So you can see he has a little slot in here, and you can just push that down, and it's super secure. It does store in alt mode, so we'll get to that later. Last thing is that he does have an alternate face, as you can see here. Hey, Evlash, how's it going? Hey, D Official One. He has his stoic face, which I really like. I think that looks, very old timer ish, very much Braun. And then he has this yelling one, which I think is okay. I'll probably keep this here. Hey, Eddie, Clinical. Eddie from Toy Dojo is in the house. I'm surprised he's here as Eddie Chan and not Toy Dojo. I did get this from Toy Dojo, so shout out to my sponsor. They did send a bunch of them here. So if you're getting some from Toy Dojo on the East Coast, you might be getting them from me. So let's go ahead and take a quick 360 of this guy. And he looks really clean. He has a really nice compact backpack, which is very much what we expect from a Braun. He does have rubber wheels that you can see on the back of his calves, I suppose, but they don't bother me too much. Otherwise, he's pretty clean. And I'm gonna get this out right away. People have already been commenting on it, and to the person who said it the first time, I don't remember who it was. This guy definitely looks like he has Ninja Turtle legs. The split toes here and the painted knees here make it look like Ninja Turtle legs. If you guys remember New Age, MF Doomtree, how's it going? New Age, they actually did a Legends Braun and Outback, and then they did a remold into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it worked really well, and I can see why now. And I'm sorry, I cannot unsee it anymore. The orange chest looks like a shell. This backpack here kind of looks like a shell. I mean, if he had a turtle head or even just a mask, it would definitely look like a Ninja Turtle. And I can't unsee it. And since I can't unsee it, I'm spreading it as much as possible so you guys can no longer enjoy this figure without humming the Ninja Turtle theme song in your head while playing with them. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into articulation. Starting at the top, he has 2 pieces of articulation at the top. He has his head that can rotate around, and it's very, very tight. And I can't tell if it's like a double hinge or a ball joint from here. I think it might be a ball joint, but I can't actually get it to work. It might just be 2 swivels or on a hinge, but it's very, very tight. It's hard to get around. To get to the face, you basically have to pull up from underneath. It's really hard to get to. You're probably going to need a tool to just come in underneath and pop it out. It's just 3 small pegs. So you just pop it out like that, and then we can put the angry one on just for completeness. But you can see here. 3, oh, not sideways. That's not how faces work. But yeah, it's really tough to move it. I'm like really struggling here. His neck platform also moves. It's for transformation, but it's nice that you can actually move it. I think that looks much better to be able to rotate it there. There might be some interference uh, once you get to around here. The reason being his shoulder pieces kind of get in the way, and we'll talk about that when we do transformation. But he does have a little bit of that. His shoulders come out to the side, rotate around. They're all friction, no ratchets, even though it has some molded ratchet look details in here and here. He does have a 360 bicep swivel, a 90-degree elbow bend, a wrist swivel, and then MP car style hands where it's just all 4 fingers pinned at the base of the hand. All right. Cool note, he has a little bit of blinged out gold here. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it does look kind of nice. He just looks a little blingy for me. Coming to the waist, when I first got him, I was not sure if he had any waist articulation at all, to be perfectly honest. It was super tight, and even now it's pretty tight. So just be careful when you do that. He doesn't have any ab crunch, unfortunately. He does have a thigh swivel, and then he can go up about this far. He can get a little bit more. We'll talk about that in just a second. He can go back about this far before he hits his butt plate too. He can come out about here. And then at the knees, he has just a single knee bend, which goes more than 90 degrees, so pretty good. Coming down to the legs, he has ankle tilts, which is pretty cool because these legs are 2 halves, basically, of the alt mode, and they sandwich together and they peg together down here. And you would think that might restrict his ability for articulation, but he does have some articulation here. Hey, there's a little spider here. Go away, spider. Okay. All right. And then he doesn't really have any toe or articulation. I mean, he does in the sense you can unpeg this and you can like tilt this one toe up, or you can tilt this toe up like this. They both transform slightly differently. So again, they make it look like toes. So yeah, going back up here, I did want to talk about a couple things. Mine came out of packaging slightly not in robot mode. It came out like this, and it looks like you're supposed to tab this in here. It doesn't really work that way. The way it's supposed to work is you can see here that there's a peg on this back butt plate. You need to rotate the legs just slightly like so, and that will clear and that will peg in. And then I should have done this first. That was not very smart of me, but you pull up this side. So they work in conjunction as so, and then you tab this in. I won't tab it in just yet because there is rotation here. It's not really meant for robot mode, but because you like basically have to break up the look and the hip skirts and it looks kind of weird. But if you wanted to do so, you can do that, and you can get a decent amount more range coming up to the front. Again, it's just an option, but as people have been saying on the forums, he doesn't have the greatest range, but I don't think it's terrible. It's just not up to, you know, well, what I would call modern standards of articulation that we're getting for Masterpiece figures. But that's okay. I think he's okay. Overall, the only stuff I would talk about aesthetically about this guy is that, oh, I guess I should do this too, is I don't really love the final colors that they came out with. So the first thing I don't like about it is the green. I think it's a little too light, like I said before. I would have preferred something a little bit darker, and maybe not this dark. Again, sorry about the lighting. YouTube's video is live streaming is awful, so I can't do any adjustments. But I would have liked it a little bit darker. And this paint on the chest, the main body, is more of a golden orange, and I just don't think it looks that good. I think the paint itself is high quality. The finish is really nice. It's nice and shiny, glossy, metallic flake. The paint itself is good, but I just think it doesn't mesh well as a look, and it doesn't look, you know, as coherent to me or Braun-like as this. The only other thing about the paint is I don't really like the silver paint on the helmet. When I look at Braun, I always think of these colors, the forearm and the helmet being the same color. So I think it's a little too shiny. It kind of reminds me of, do you guys remember the really terrible X-Men 3, the Juggernaut? I'm the Juggernaut, bleep. It reminds me of his helmet from that movie. Vinny Jones? Vinny something, I think, is the actor. But yeah, that reminds me of his helmet there. And the last thing I would talk about aesthetically is he doesn't look as bulky as I might like, but I think he still looks good. I think this is just a preference thing. If you look at him compared to Baggy Brawny, he definitely looks better in terms of finish, in terms of overall like just cleanliness. There's no way that I would recommend this Brawny over this figure, just in any real sense. But I do wish he was a little bit bulkier than this. I think he looks a little too slim. But fan stories have always had a little bit more slimmer, more heroic proportions. So I don't think that's anything to be surprised about. Bullet 2 Tony, yeah. Hey Cheryl, I already paid for him, but I feel like a better, more tuned version would come out in 8 months. Yeah, I would definitely be down. If I don't have Final Victory Clinical, sorry. But yeah, if they actually did a recolor of this one with a darker green and like more of an orange color, I think I will definitely trade up on that one. That being said, this guy's was only $90, I think. I think some places had raised the price on him due to COVID and everything like that and increased shipping. But for $90, I think he's a deal. So, all right. Other comparisons that we'll have real quick in robot mode. Here he is with Coot, who is the reissue that I recently reviewed. Well, I did a live stream, which was awful, and a transformation video. And if you guys don't remember, I actually changed my mind about him. They did make some changes to him that made the transformation a lot easier. And I think I figured out just some tips that made his transformation way more enjoyable and not as frustrating. So I'm actually back on the Coot train there. I don't think I'll change my mind about Rouge or their Hot Rod, though. Let's see, do I have anything else? I don't really have anything else to compare to right now. If later, once we get to the end, I'll go ahead and take some requests, and I'll try to pull some other figures. But you can see he's pretty small. I should have brought a carbot. I apologize. I'll do that later. All right. So sorry I'm missing a lot of the questions. I'll get to those later. Do the side view mirrors bother anyone? It bothers me a little bit, but not too much. My concern was more that they might break. They are thin, but they're really hard, so they might be die cast actually. I'm not going to test it, and it doesn't feel cold, like die cast cold. But I think all in all, they feel like you probably won't break them unless you're, forcefully grabbing on them. All right. Oh, and one last thing, the gold down here, at least on some of the edges, didn't get good coverage, so it actually looks yellow down here and not sparkly gold. So again, some minor nitpicks, but overall, I think he looks really nice. Transformation is not too bad either. TM reviews, yeah, TM, he was going to do a review, but he instead just posted the changes. There were some minor changes. I talked about one of the major ones. But anyway, we'll just get into this guy's transformation. So yeah, he's not too terrible. He has some interesting stuff going on, and he does feel like he has the same designer as the Sheridan, which I also liked. Knee problems aside. All right, so the first thing we'll do is actually deal with the backpack. So the backpack here is attached down here. It'll be hard to see, but there's a tab on the bottom. There's 2 pegs up here, and then there's another, I guess you would call it peg, but it's in the middle here. So you're going to have to pretty firmly pull out on that. You can see a peg, and this doesn't really peg in, this telescoping piece, but it does kind of reside in there. And then this tab is what goes into his lower back. So it's on a die-cast armature that comes out. And and I should say, like, I think the entire chest is die-cast, so he's pretty hefty. We'll do a weight measurement a little bit later. But we're just going to do this. Let's just leave this for now. It can just hang out. Unfortunately, we have to do that before we can really do anything else. So we're going to untab this section. Remember, we have to rotate the legs up a bit to get clearance for that. Just slide that out. And we'll basically do what we did, reverse what we did in the beginning to get it into proper robot mode. This piece here will fold in and underneath or behind the front skirt. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. So untab here, rotate the leg, make sure to just get enough clearance there. You might have to rotate the thigh a tiny bit as well. Close up that flap, flip this hip skirt in. If you're having trouble, remember this rotates a little bit, so you can do that. And there we go there. Now we're going to start working with the lower legs. So we're coming down to the Ninja Turtle feet, the bottom here. We're going to untab or unpeg this section right there on both. This basically holds, ow, that really hurts. Okay, so I'm just going to use a spudger to help me out. That will unpeg both halves. While we're here, there are a couple other flaps that we're going to deal with. We're going to flip this down, flip this intersection down, and very much like Sheridan, we have another thigh section that will break in half. Not break, but like separate. So you need to flip up this tab. All right. We're going to make this guy do like the splits. And here's one part you need to be concerned about. You need to rotate this inner piece all the way around. Oh, I'm sorry. One thing I should mention is you can do this now or later, but these hips, you can see the legs are actually on kind of a joint here. What you need to do is pull firmly back on these to push them into the rear position, like so. So now you can see a bit of a gap in the front. That wasn't really that clear for me to me in the instructions until I actually looked at it. So again, you can push forward for robot mode and push it back. So sorry, getting back here, we need to rotate not just at the thigh swivel, but at the entire hip joint here, all the way around. So see, I can rotate this separately. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you rotate all the way around because you're going to need to rotate this up in a bit. So we'll do that. We'll do the same thing for the other side. Get these panels down. Unlock this piece here at the thigh. Get the leg out. And again, rotate not just at the thigh swivel here. You want to rotate at the actual hip joint to get it all the way around 180 degrees so it's facing up. All right, next up, we're going to split the legs. And you can see exactly where we're going here. These are going to form the sides of the alt mode. The front and the rear look the same, but like I said, they do transform slightly differently. The toe piece or this tip piece will come out. This one will untab, flip forward, and tab in here at the top. But on this side, while the toe piece or like the tip piece will flip out, it doesn't flip out like that, so don't try to force it. This side that faces forward, you can tell because it has the gold detail here as opposed to this one. You need to slide it out like that. You can see it's on the slider. Rotate this around, and then we're going to slide it back and tab that in. And then you'll see both halves like that. You just want to collapse them like so, and then you have one half done. Right here, what I'll do is get the arm out of the way. So you want to untab at the shoulder, and then you're going to push back or rotate back on this golden piece, this blingy piece. Bring this back, and the arms will come down like that. The reason why we need to do that is because this knee piece now, or this thigh piece, will rotate up. Close that tab real quick. Rotate up, and this piece will kind of hook in on the side here, like that. So we needed to clear that out of the way so we can get this collapse into the side. So that's basically one side done. We'll deal with the top later. So same thing on the other side here. We're going to bend at the knee, or at the thigh. I keep saying knee. We're going to kind of rotate this up after we close this hatch. Sorry, I keep forgetting to close this hatch. We're going to rotate this up. And again, if you don't rotate properly at the hip joint, you're not going to be able to rotate this up. Split at the legs. This one will come down, and it's at the front. So remember, this is the slider joint. Slide it, rotate it around, and then collapse it. That'll tab in there. And on the back, flip out the toe, and untab there, and tab this in. Coming to the side, collapse that in like so. Now dealing with this piece, untab at the shoulder, rotate this back, and we just want to get this rotated like so. And the arms will look like this. Once again, we're going to rotate up at the hip joint, and this little tabby piece right here, I don't know if you can see it, this little ridge is going to go in right there. Before we secure everything, the one thing you need to do is rotate at that neck panel, or this whatever panel you want to call it. Like I said, 180 degrees. It's not completely necessary, but it does hide the head, so you don't have visible head syndrome from underneath. From here, we're gonna flip this piece out. You'll see this piece comes out like so. The hood comes down here and rotates around. So just the hood piece will rotate around to the front of the vehicle. And again, because it's symmetrical, it's really hard to tell which is the front and back the first time. Remember, this dot and the head are at the front of the vehicle. All right, so once we do that, we'll pull the grill down. Flip open this piece and this piece. I have the QC whole armature, this die-cast armature, and this extending piece are collapsed the correct way. So you want to angle it like so, and you want to make sure that this piece doesn't start floating around. It should be butted up against this die-cast piece, and you're basically just going to push down on this. The only thing to be aware of is you might need to pull out slightly on the sides of the vehicle, like these door sections, to clear the shoulder pieces. But yeah, you can give it a slight pull, come out here, and then you'll see that there's tabs here, here, and then we'll deal with the front. So tab that in, come back here, tab the same on that side. Right here, that went underneath the windshield. So you have to make sure that this goes underneath there. You shouldn't see any gap whatsoever. Coming to the front, this ridge here, this little piece here, will come up and around this section, like so, right there. Same thing on the other side. Pull up on these little rotating pieces to complete the front bumper, and we got the front done. Along the back, make sure everything is tabbed in there. Make sure these pieces are rotated in. They are really loose, so you want to make sure that they're rotated in. Coming from underneath, there's kind of hooking tabs here. So you're going to hook this into the yellow section. Same thing on this side, like so. And then you're straightening this out. And this is one section where I think there's something wrong, at least with mine, with the molding. This should just fold flat. And then there's a couple of ridges on each side that hold it in place. Mine doesn't want to sit flat. It looks like this section here wants to push it up. So sometimes I can get it to stay, but it likes to pop out. But once you have that, you want to give it just a squeeze like this to make sure everything's nice and tight. And that's it. See how this popped out? So you may or may not have that same problem. It's a minor issue. But yeah, there we go. We have Hunk, or Brawn, in alt mode. And it's a tiny little mode. Let's do a quick 360 of this guy. Yeah, the transformation is not bad at all. I enjoy it. There are some cool parts about it. It is very cartoony in the sense that it has these like very sharp angles here going around. I think even the G1 toy had that, so it looks less like a real vehicle, I would say. And again, I'm not a car guy. That's probably my weakest part of doing transformations, these reviews. I don't know anything about cars or jets or really anything, to be perfectly honest. I've never been inclined to be interested in that stuff. So maybe this is some kind of vehicle that I don't know. But it looks a little too angular from what I've seen. And in my full review, I'll do a comparison with this guy's alt mode as well. So you'll see that. But yeah, overall it looks good. He has nice blue translucent windows. He has another rubber wheel at the top that spins, has some chrome here on all these sides. I don't think this comes off. I mean, I didn't try to pull the actual wheel off. He has the, whatever the strap wheel, I forget what these things called, these rails that people use to, tie down. I've never you have to use these things. On the bottom, you do see basically his chest, but otherwise very clean. I don't think they had to go through and actually create this section here to cover up the bottom, but it is nice that they did that, even if mine is a little. He does have storage, So if you want to tab the gun in, he has a little part that pokes out here. You're supposed to tab it in there. Again, mine might have a little bit of difficulty just because of the way it doesn't want to hold. So let me try it. I've gotten it before. Yeah, and you do have still minimal clearance. You can roll around. The drill, his other accessory, it basically has 2 tabs here. I'm curious why they went with this design, but you basically just push it in like so, and then you have that. Slow DK, is problems with the bad connection? Here, give me 1 second. Let me try to check my Wi-Fi. You guys might get lagged a bit for a second while it... Hopefully everything's good. Too many people on the stream. 194 people. What is wrong with you people? I did pay my internet bill, Chris, but I have a couple of different Wi-Fis in my house, so sometimes I have to switch around. Toy Dojo, stop downloading porn. Dude, I can't do that. Transformers and porn are my life. So yeah, this is really it. His alt mode. Let me show you some comparisons with my trusty Streak. I don't know how accurate this scale is. Again, know nothing about cars whatsoever. And my other trusty comparison, here he is with MP Bumblebee. I think the scale is believable, at least, even if it's not spot on. I'm not such a diehard alt mode person in the sense that I need everything to scale, as long as the robot modes scale pretty well. But yeah, I think this looks good. There is a little bit more gapping than I might like along these edges here, but nothing is really awful or heinous or anything like that. So he does have some painted grill stuff here, silver, some painted details. The winch, I guess he doesn't really have a winch, but a kind of a winch looking area. Along the sides, not much not much surface detail. So again, kind of going along with the newer style of Masterpiece. But yeah, that's really it. We're going to go ahead and get him back into robot mode and finish off the review. So let's unpeg this, get this out of the way. We might need this spudger in a couple of places. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. Again, this releases here and here. And what I like to do when going back is actually just release a lot of the tabs just to get them out of the way. Because releasing some of these might just force these other ones out, and I'd rather not damage anything. So go ahead and pull these down. Pull out to the side to release this tab here. All right, once we've done that, these pieces are a little thin. Not completely worrisome normally, but since they are tightly tabbed here, it does make me a little bit concerned, especially about this tab here. So just be gentle when working these out. It's just really this back section here that folded out. Oops, sorry about that. He just kind of exploded. But you just pull up to release all of this. We'll untab the hood. So you see right here that I was talking about, there's a little extra ridge here that needs to go in that gap. We'll fold this up. Rotate this, just the hood 180 degrees like so. This section took me a while to figure out transforming back. The way you have to transform this is fold here and here like that. Sorry, get these down and to the side. You want to fold this in first like so. So this little final section here goes underneath the grill. Do that first and then fold this section on top of it. So that's very important. So let's review it again real quick. Fold this section in like this first. So we're going to fold the gas can in and then fold at only this joint. Don't mess with this one at all. Like so. Close up the grill and then fold up this entire section as one piece. That's really important and easy to miss. It's not in the instructions, obviously, since they only show it one way. All right, from here, let's go ahead and rotate the head around along with this neck panel. We'll go ahead and bring the arms around, bring it to the front, these golden pieces, tab this in, and just keep the arms up and out of the way for now. Same thing with this side. I'm going to rotate this up and around. Oh, the face fell off. I probably didn't jam it in when I was swapping it. Yeah, usually it's pretty difficult to get out. So yeah, that's the upper body pretty much. We've already kind of done this, but you want to release that and bring this ridge out from underneath the side here. Bring out this tab so we can straighten out the leg, close that up, and that will lock the thigh into place. We'll go ahead and deal with these halves now. So extend these sections, fold them in half, and then collapse them at the knees. We'll untab both of the quote-unquote toes. Remember, this one works differently, so you need to extend this one up on that slider, rotate around, slide it back like so. That will tab in there and there at the toe. And this one will just fold down and fold up. Fold up these gray panels here and here on the side. There we go. And then getting the 2 feet together, we use this little peg. So we flip this closed to secure it like that. All right, so remember we have to rotate this thigh. It was like this. We want to rotate the whole section. See that screw? That should be pointing to the back once you're done. So rotate this around and down like that. And then we'll deal with the hips and the hip skirts in a second. So again, we're going to release this, bring this down. We got to lift up on that tab just a little bit so we can get the thigh in. Close that to lock. Extend these pieces. Get the 2 halves together like so. Sorry, this is all rattling. There's no good way to secure it right now without having to unsecure it later, so we're just going to have to deal with it. Collapse these pieces, the 2 halves. Flip up the gray panels on both sides of the... I don't know why this face keeps coming up. Okay, we're going to swap to the regular face. Or not. All right. All right, so where were we? So we were flipping up this panel here, like so. And then dealing with the toes. This one will flip down, tab in here. The tip will flip up. This one, we're going to release, slide down, flip it around, slide in, and tab like so. And then the bottom of the foot, we peg that in. The thigh, or the hip, we're gonna rotate all the way around, not just the thigh swivel, the entire hip. Get that down like so. And I talked about before, this entire hip mechanism, you just basically have to pull or push it. This time we're gonna push it to the front of the body. We're gonna pull it. There we go, until you hear a definitive snap. You can see that it did move. We do need to reach in and try to release these pieces from underneath. It's kind of hard to get to. So again, this is probably where a spudger will come in handy. Just come in like that. And as we did at the beginning, we're going to flip this panel open, put the butt plate in, making sure just to clear there. There's some tight clearance there. Tab that in to secure the entire hip skirt area. So same thing on the other side. Getting in here again is a little difficult. Like so. Flip this panel out. Get the legs scooched up and rotated just a slight bit so that curved piece goes in. Tab that in. And now the backpack. The only thing about the backpack you need to know is to telescope this all out and have it situated like so. And you're going to push this pin joint towards the top. And then you're going to basically just going to push in. So this piece, these 3 pegs up here, and the tab right there are going to all kind of fit at the same time. And there we go. We have Hunk back in robot mode. So hopefully that was a decent preview or review of this guy. I will do a full one with a better quality, clearer picture and focusing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. I'll go ahead and now I'll start answering questions that I have been ignoring for the last 35 minutes while I've actually been trying to show you guys. I know one request that people have been asking already is, does he come with a Megatron cannon? He does not. But here's the Megatron one if you just want to see what he kind of looks like with it, how it scales. Oh, Leo, yes, perfect timing. Hey, MP Collector. MP Collector, Razor Wide just picked up yours, so he should be on the way back if he isn't already. Too many lies. Sorry, I must have missed it. Matt McCardell, there is no ab crunch. He just has a waist swivel. And the waist swivel, I should have mentioned, unless you release the backpack, it does get obstructed a bit. So unless you actually untab this, it does get restricted. If you do move it out of the way, he does get a full 360. I think he definitely has enough where even without unpegging the backpack, you should get a decent amount. He gets like 45 degrees. All right. What is his gun? Does he have any cannon? He doesn't have the cannon. This is actually this is the third party or fourth party, whatever you want to call it, the one that has the different English voices. So this is not even the official one, but it's the same size and everything. As far as accessories, for those of you coming in late, he has this drill bit. He does have a gun that has a rail slotting mechanism instead of a traditional MP tabbing system. And then he has one alternate face. That's it. 3 accessories. All right. I think Tony77 says, do I like it? I actually do like it. I think, especially for the price, $90, I think this is a good value. He feels quite hefty. The transformation is pretty cool. There's nothing worrisome about it really for me. A lot of the times I have frustrating parts of the transformation. This one is actually quite enjoyable. It only took me 2 transformations before I started the live stream very comfortably. So I'm very happy with the transformation of this guy. The colors, I don't love it. If they released another color version for like the toy version, I definitely would pass this along and get that one. I know people do like to ask about weight, so I do have my scale. Let me go ahead and... So let's see, what are the questions? Hey, can you have him next to a Seeker or Megs? We'll go ahead and do that. He is 8.2 ounces. In grams, that's 232 grams for those of you anywhere outside of the weirdo US. All right, let me answer some more questions real quick. These are coming way faster. I will say thanks for all of you who are joining. I've never had this many people on a live stream at once. 200 plus is definitely a record for me, so thanks. I appreciate that. Lowell Martins, hey, good to see you, Lowell. He said, really good live stream, Pake. Thanks, I appreciate it. Toy Dojo, we don't have to, we can just ignore him. Influence interest, new color coming. Yeah, we'll see. Which parts are metal? So I believe basically the entire chest I think is metal. These gold pieces I think are metal. I'm not sure what else. Oh, some of these leg pieces are metal. I think these sections here might be metal. So he does have a decent amount of die cast on him, even for a small figure. I missed a Pete Bandai release. What Pete Bandai releases did I miss? Oh man, I did not. Can I zoom in over the head? Yeah, sure. I can't zoom in. YouTube's video app doesn't allow you to do that, and that's why the lighting is so crap as well. So I will do a full review. Let's see. Brawn equals ratings. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, I have had like 150 folks before for like an official MP, and I think another Fans Toys one. Maybe it was their Motormaster. But yeah, I'm surprised so many people are here and excited about the Brawn. Chris Wynn says the screws are metal. What are your thoughts on the feet? I think the design of the feet overall, like the engineering, is really clever. I really like stuff like this where it kind of reminds me of MMC's, what's his name? Their Swindle, how when he turns into Bruticus's foot, it's two halves that tab together, but he still has ankle articulation. So I think that's really clever engineering. But he does look like he has Ninja Turtle legs. So plus side and downside to it all, I guess. Slow DK, he retails for $90. I think some places did raise the price a bit, maybe due to COVID and stuff like that. Good night, Clinical. Let's see here. These pieces, I don't know if they come off. I talked about it before. I think they are metal of some sort. They seem very secure. As long as you don't like purposely grab and push on these, you shouldn't have issues. Yeah, they feel like they're metal, but I haven't tried to remove them. I don't even know how that might work. I'm trying to look in. I imagine you would just pull it off, but I'm not going to do that on mine. Damon says this guy will be 200 Canadian in a week. All right. Oh, Mike got a good price on it. $88 shipped. All right, so there were some requests for some comparisons, so I'll go ahead and get maybe a Carbot and a Seeker. You guys just chat amongst yourselves for a bit, and I'll be back. All right, so real quick, here he is with MP Hound, one of my favorite recent MP figures. Here he is with a Seeker, Sunstorm, just because he's the easiest one for me to grab. All the others are on flight stands of some sort. Does anyone know why he looks like a He-Man figure? Yeah, I saw that meme or picture. He does look like Man-at-Arms from He-Man quite a bit. The color scheme, the helmet, and just kind of the overall look. All right, any other questions? It does look like the reflectivity of the helmet is making it look lighter than in hand. Yeah, so it is, like I said, this is painted silver, and I don't think this is painted, or it might be, but it's painted kind of a flat off-white or very, very light gray. I think I would have preferred that, but I think the reason they might have done that is to create some more separation from the face so that it wouldn't blend in too much. And I don't mind that too much. T-Man 978, my buddy, he said I just need to slap on a Autobot logo and call it a day. I've been super lazy about labeling up even just the faction symbols on my third-party figure as of late. Do you think the entire backpack can be removed with a tool? Yeah, I imagine you can. It's really just attached by this piece here. So you can unscrew this or unscrew this here. And you should be able to remove basically all of it. And then that way you would just have like the die-cast armature, or if you remove this, you would, well, I don't know. I think you would probably have to remove it from this screw here. But yeah, I think that's an option. I don't think you need to go so far as to do that. Hey, Keck, how's it going? Yeah, sorry if you guys are looking at the articulation. Really, he has no ratchets or anything like that. It's mostly friction. He has what I would call, I guess maybe bare minimum articulation for most joints, like 90 degrees for the most part. 90 degrees going out, a little bit less so with the legs going up and back. A little bit more at the knees. He does have an ankle tilt. He does have some limited head range. But yeah, that in general, that'll give you an idea. He does have some limited hip articulation if you don't unpeg the backpack, and no ab crunch. So I think this is kind of bare minimum for an MP scale figure, at least nowadays. I definitely would have liked to have seen more, maybe an ab crunch. It seems like that would have been something that would have been fairly easy to integrate into this figure. But again, it's not terrible. It's definitely not the best. But it's better than, say, having no waist articulation like some of the Seekers. Not Seekers, the Jets that we got from them. I don't know why the number of viewers is going up at the end of the review as opposed to the beginning or the middle. But in any case, I did basically finish the review. I am just answering questions at this point. If you guys have more, keep them coming. I'll stay on for quite a bit while longer. But once this is done, it will go published. It will be published on my channel, so you can go back and watch it, or you can just wait for the full review, which we'll probably have out maybe not tomorrow. I'm probably gonna try to get to bed a little bit early today, but in the next couple of days, I'll have a full 1080p, 60 frames per second, nice clear view, better lighting than the YouTube live video. All right, coming back. Super Sport, no problem. Happy to do that. Tony77, no problem. I can't help but think there's a secret turtle mode. Yeah, exactly. You can't unsee it. Sorry for those of you who missed it at the beginning. I won't repeat it because I don't want to. Pros and cons for me. I think the aesthetics, color-wise, and maybe just a bulkier body would have been preferred. But I think he looks really good. He's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, the best version of a Brawn that we have. I know there aren't a ton of options, but I think he looks really, really quite nice. Aside from the colors, I'm pretty happy with him and the Ninja Turtle feet. Hey, Inu Tabby, great to see you. Any interest in TE Mirage? I was really interested in Transform Element Mirage. I'm less so now. So I don't know. I may or may not get him. Toy Dojo, if you do get him, you might have to convince me to get him. Can you compare it to MP44? I did do that already, but here, go ahead. Sheridan, I don't know where my Sheridan is at this point. Oh, he's at the very back of one of my shelves, so I'm not going to do that. Michael W says, hey, everyone, don't forget to like. I do appreciate likes. Do appreciate comments as well. I actually wish I got more comments in my videos. I know my videos probably aren't the most exciting. I usually do them for transformation. I know that's what a lot of people come and say that they come to my videos for. But I love to engage. I wish I had like half as many comments as T-Man978 or TM reviews. I love engaging. If you look at my comment section, I almost always reply to everyone. Memo says, hey, Memo, how's it going? Studio Cell comparison? What was it? Oh, I don't have Studio Cell yet, Memo. All I have from Studio Cell is... This is what I have for Studio Cell. Toy Dojo has sent me this, and they do have the rest of him for me, but I don't get stuff shipped to me piecemeal. I kind of save it all into one box and get it shipped. Save a little bit on shipping. Let Toy Dojo save a little bit on effort. So I'll probably get in the next week or two. All right, let's see. How do the knees feel? The knees feel fine. While it does share kind of a similar mechanism to Sheridan, it's not designed the same way. You can see it's actually screwed in here and there's a screw there. So there's no kind of pin joint. So I wouldn't be concerned about this, breaking like the Sheridan one did. Yeah, somebody commented on TFW that I broke my Sheridan. I did not break my Sheridan. That was actually another local who broke it. I just brought that one out to show you guys that there was a potential issue and basically show you guys that what to be careful of. But mine was fine. But I'm a little bit more gentle with my figures. All right, who else do I have? Can you compare him with one of the Bumblebees? Sure, I can do that. Give me a second. Hey, James, thanks for coming regardless, whether you're coming at the end or not. Feel free to ask some more questions. The 2 chest is so plain on that, I might stick with MMC Sphinx. Yeah, Evil Ash, I was thinking the same thing, but I think the same thing of even the MMC Cell version, animation version of their Mirage. Without like more surface details or paint, I just think it looks a little boring. All right, so I'll get a Bumblebee in a second. Can you put him on all fours to match a turtle? You probably could, because the thighs swivel around, the hips swivel around. You could probably do that, and then with the this knee joint here, you can probably mess around to make him look more like a turtle. How much diecast? We talked about diecast. There is a bunch. I think there's some in the legs here. Basically, this whole chest section. There's some here on that piece and some of the armatures, all the critical joint pieces. All right, give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and get another Bumblebee. Someone throwing shade? Am I throwing shade? Who's throwing shade? Now I got to scroll back up. Who's throwing shade? Oh man. All right. Well, whoever was throwing shade, let me know if it was me or not. I'm not opposed to it. Unlike a certain skull face reviewer, I don't know what that was about. Can we share my collection? I mean, people have been asking me to do a collection, but my collection view, but my collection is kind of a mess still. This is some of it there, some of it there, some parts there, some up there, some random stuff over here. I have another set of shelves on the outside of this room, just outside the door, but for the most part, it's still a mess. That's why I haven't done a collection tour, and I need to actually light it and make it look nice and organize it a bit more. So give me a second. Bumblebee figure. Luckily, Bumblebee is short, so he's at the front of one of my shelves. You can see just how tall he is. So he is a tiny figure, but he feels super solid, especially compared to this guy. Did you have to fix your MP Optimus knees? I had to get mine replaced. So yeah, because I wasn't aware of the whole mechanism and everything like that. But basically this guy just stands like this. He's not my play piece. He's not my display piece. He's actually, all I use him for right now is to do comparisons for you guys. But yeah, I did damage the one by not knowing exactly how to transform it or to articulate it. But yeah, since then he doesn't do anything. I haven't transformed him since. The KO, I am getting the KO. I think Toy Dojo is going to get some of the KOs. I have asked them to get me one of them, so I'll eventually do a review of that. Yes, the Toy Dojo said to everyone reading or watching, they've had some reports about the mirrors being loose. Mine are super tight, so I don't have any issues with that. But it's good to know. I don't think B looks terrible. He just doesn't he is so light. He's like made of aerogel or something like that. And as long as you don't look at it from the back, I think he looks good. I think he looks good from the front. Pre-orders all sold out? Yeah, sorry. Damon Croy says factory rejects. I don't know what that was going to say. What they were saying about that. What are your favorite parts about Hunk, and what do you like the least? I've already talked about it. My least favorite part is just the coloring. I just don't think I think the paint again is really great quality, and individually it looks really nice. I just don't think it meshes well. Like this really shiny golden orange versus kind of this a little bit lighter green. I wish they had gone with a darker color scheme for both, and maybe less blingy on the chest. Like I don't know why he needs gold here or silver, but my favorite part about him, I think the transformation. I think the transformation is actually pretty ingenious. It's pretty clever. Like I said, I do like how they engineered the feet. So those are my favorite parts. Is Hunk a hunk of burning transformer goodness? I don't know if I'd go that far, but I think he is a really good option. If you guys can get him, definitely try to get him. Or if you prefer this look, you guys will probably have a lot of options in picking up this guy for pretty cheap. I'm guessing Brawny is going to go for pretty cheap nowadays, because $90 versus, I forget how much this guy was. I think he was $100 when he first came out. It's a great deal. This guy is by far superior to this guy in almost every way imaginable, unless aesthetically you like the bulkier look, and maybe the alt mode. So the alt mode for this guy looks a little bit weird to me, a little too blocky, and not as a quote unquote realistic car. But again, I don't really know cars that much. But yeah. Let's see. Toy Dojo is getting so many emails looking for single hunks. I think they're looking for a different type of toy to play with. I'm pretty sure you're single, aren't you, though, Toy Dojo? Who knows? You might find the love of your life. Chris Gould says, at Gaius Freeman, they're likely to break if you look at him the wrong way. FT Warpath Red is so nice. Yeah, I really like the Sheridan. I really like their Sheridan. And I also really like their Stunticons. All of them have been really great, I think, overall. I didn't love their Motormaster at first, but in retrospect, I think he's better than what I said. And I think I said he was really good, but I just didn't like him for some reason. But yeah, their spoiler I really like. And then their Magnum that just came out, I did a review of him as well. That's also a really good figure. I think Spoiler's still my favorite. I really enjoy the Stunticons. All three of them are definitely wins in my book. Another recent win for Fans Toys is their Jabber. I really like their Jabber. So I think they're on a roll right now. Henry has a beautiful car? What does that have to do with anything? Yeah, Toy Dojo gets a lot of emails, so it might go in spam. MF Doomtree says, thanks, Peg. Have a good night. Thanks for joining, everyone. Lowell Martin says, Bronny looks more like a toy next to Hunk. Yeah. And you guys got to give, Bronny a break, too. The third-party space in general, when it comes to engineering, quality of materials, quality of paint jobs, everything just in the last 3 years or 5 years is the leaps are phenomenal. They're unbelievable. Where we see the kind of first third-party figures that came out like maybe a decade ago compared to now, it's night and day. So it's rare for us to see a third-party figure come out that would be something like this. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. I do appreciate all of you joining. This was by far my most successful live stream. If you guys have joined me before, I do these fairly frequently because I enjoy these way more than my traditional reviews. One, because they're way less work for me. Two, I get to engage with you guys and we have more interaction back and forth, obviously. And three, they're just way more entertaining both ways, I think, for you guys and for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed them. I'll keep them coming as long as you guys keep enjoying them. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if it's something that you would like to see in my full review, which I will have out in the next couple days, let me know. Shout out to Toy Dojo, my sponsor. Shout out to Fans Toys. Shout out to all my regulars here like Kato's, Inu Tabby, I Still Function. And there's probably so many more that I'm forgetting. Evil Ash, my good buddies TM Reviews. Check out his channel. I'm sending his out tomorrow, so he'll have his in the next couple days. T-Man 978. All the other reviewers, the community, the Transformers community is great. So if you guys have a chance, definitely check out all the great reviewers that are in our community. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a good one.